Managing the affairs of the country is like operating a progressive business. Every decision taken is done to avoid losses and secure the best returns. Like government's decision to court big investments that will advance the build-out of critical infrastructure in the country while maintaining a fiscally prudent economic plan. Expansion and modernization of the Kingston Container Terminal (KCT) is just one of several major infrastructure investments being executed by government this fiscal year. And like all the others, it represents an important element of the strategic priority to practice fiscal prudence and pursue a credible economic program. Even as it positions the terminal to satisfy international demand, government is also far advanced with plans to privatize the KCT, relieving the operational cost to the national budget. And as another measure to slash huge operating costs, a concessionaire is to be selected from shortlisted bidders by the first quarter of 2014.
We are also looking at completing the borehole study, which is scheduled to be completed between mid-October and November. And the borehole study will inform the transaction and the case study for the transaction. By mid-April into May, we should be finalizing the identification of a preferred bidder.
In the meantime, the Kingston Harbour Access Channel is being dredged to support the KCT modernization plans.
The objective is to increase the access channel depth from 14 meters, an average of 14 meters, to 17 meters to accommodate these huge container vessels which will traverse the Panama Canal upon completion of its expansion.
Jamaica's ideal geographic location along the main shipping routes and major world markets puts it in a position to become the shipping and logistics hub of the Americas. And local and overseas investors have latched on to government strategy for making that happen with minimal cost to the state and its citizens. One investor, China Harbour Engineering Company, is currently carrying out a one-year location assessment for its proposed $1.5 billion investment in shipping, logistics, and other areas. A feasibility study should be completed by the end of April 2014.
At that time, a decision will be made as to whether to proceed to a conclusive agreement, providing that all social, developmental, and environmental issues have been addressed and the requisite regulatory permits are in place.
In the meantime, the Port Authority of Jamaica will continue assessment and monitoring of the proposed project area to ensure that any development will be good for the economy as well as the environment.
In this regard, the Port Authority has commissioned an environmental management scoping project.
In the meantime, facilities at Victoria Street in downtown Kingston have been purchased to facilitate the training of workers for the logistics hub.
Is this something we are starting with the Port Authority in terms of the training of the operators of these big cranes, etc. But we want to broaden it across a wide spectrum.
The north-south leg of Highway 2000 is another one of the large infrastructure projects being implemented by the government on the basis of public-private partnership arrangements. With land acquisition out of the way for these sections from Ferry to Linstead and Moneague to Ocho Rios, construction is shifting into high gear, with work on the Mount Rosser bypass to be completed within a year.
We have made progress in line with what had been projected.
China Harbour Engineering Company is executing the $600 million investment, which poses no risk obligation to the government.
They're putting up $150 million themselves, and they're borrowing $450 million from the CDB, the China Development Bank. Government of Jamaica is taking no risk. They're not involved as an investor. There is the provision of the lands for the toll road as well as additional approximately 1,200 acres.
Government's push to build out its infrastructure and support a credible economic program has also resulted in an agreement to fund a major infrastructure development program. Following a meeting with China's president and premier during the Prime Minister's official visit to that country in August, Jamaica has inked an agreement with the China Exim Bank for preferential loan support to fund the initiative. MIDP will facilitate the rehabilitation of roads, bridges, and retaining walls across the island, and will employ thousands of Jamaicans in the process. From the Kingston Container Terminal to the major infrastructure development program, the government of Jamaica is successfully implementing a critical strategy for infrastructure development in a manner that is fiscally prudent.